everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are doing an easy recipe. It is lazy homemade tomato soup. And it's lazy because we're not roasting any vegetables. We're not using any fresh vegetables minus this onion that I have sauteing right now. And if you had dehydrated onion or even just onion powder, then make it even lazier and use that. But I had this onion that I needed to use up anyway. It was getting ready to start sprouting, so that is why I'm using that. But this is my lazy recipe. It's delicious, and you can can it. So if you wanted to can your leftovers, which I often do, then this is a great recipe for that. Just make a big pot. We're just doing a normal size pot today. I'll still probably can my leftovers. And what brought this along is last night I really wanted some tomato soup. Really bad. But the babies would not let me put them down. So I obviously couldn't make a big pot of tomato soup. And so I had to have my grilled cheese with no tomato soup. And so today I woke up and I was like, you know what? Not going to have another night like last night. So I'm going to make sure that I have soup on my shelf ready for a nice grilled cheese whenever I want. Granted, this will be a small batch, but I'll make more later. Hopefully I can go to the farmer's market or something, and then I will make not so lazy tomato soup. But I'm going to let my medium onion saute a little longer, and then I will bring you back when we start dumping the rest of our ingredients. Okay. Alright, so I've let the onions become translucent, and so now we can dump in the rest of our ingredients and be good to go. So, like I said, that was just a medium onion. Now I have a 28-ounce can of whole tomatoes, and they are low sodium, no artificial preservatives or flavors. Stick that in there. And then I have, they're just strained tomatoes. It's not tomato sauce, it's not tomato puree, it's just strained tomatoes. So I'm going to put that in there. And that was 26 ounces. This was actually something that I got for 25 cents. It's 25 cents. So, I need to use it up. It was getting close to the expiration date on it, and so I wanted to use it. But, if you didn't have that, add in a can of tomato sauce or another thing of whole tomatoes, or you could use diced tomatoes. It's whatever type of tomato that you have on hand. You could even use tomato paste and then just add some water. So it's very forgiving, and it's so good. And you never know that you're using canned stuff instead of fresh. Also, it's really good when you cook tomatoes. The longer the cooking process, the better they are for you. It's one of those things that can be water bath canned instead of pressure canned, but pressure canning them actually makes them healthier, which I think is pretty neat. So, to answer questions, yes, you can reprocess canned tomatoes. There's nothing wrong with that. So, we added in that. I'm going to add in about a cup of chicken broth just to start, because we are going to let this just simmer for a little bit. We may add more depending, and then we're just going to add some oregano. I really like oregano in my tomato soup. I'm not as big a fan of the basil, but I do put just a couple shakes as more of a background taste versus a bam tomato basil soup. I'd rather have the bam oregano, but that's just me. And then, oh, we want some salt. And I lost my lid. And we want some pepper. And garlic powder. And there we go. See? Lazy. No garlic cloves for us today. A little more garlic. And all the seasonings are to taste to your own preference.
Sorry, Mom.
And then we have this on a medium high heat. We're going to let this simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes and then see where we're at. We want to make sure the onion is really soft because we're going to puree all this in the end. And that's when we'll see if we need to add the rest of our chicken broth or not, because we don't want it too runny. But like I said, super easy recipe, because you could use just onion powder, garlic powder, tomatoes, and some chicken broth if you really wanted to. That's all you'd have to do. And then you can add the other seasonings if you have them. If you don't, it'll still be delicious. Just some salt and pepper. Yum. So, we'll let this simmer and okay, so this has gone for about 30 minutes and you can see it has reduced down a good amount. So, I've turned off the heat and we are going to use the immersion blender to puree this. And just be careful because you don't want to get splashed. Oh, there's one. Alright, so that looks perfect. Excuse me, ladies. Move the chair.
I don't want to see.
Okay, so at this point, if you wanted to can up the soup, then start canning. And you can add lemon juice to this if you wanted, if you were worried about the acidic level, but I think it has plenty of acidity. I don't think it would need the lemon juice. But in all honesty, throwing some in can't hurt anything, and you're throwing it in isn't going to hurt anything. And to be perfectly honest, when I put the small amount that you would need in, you can't even really taste it. It's more like a background taste. So, and then just follow your normal rules for canning up tomato sauce or tomato soup. I usually go off of the recipe that's in my bulk canning book, but you can use whatever reputable source that you like. So let's go ahead and show you how I finish off the soup. Okay, so the way I like to finish off my tomato soup, I have a couple ladles in here, and then I like putting in some heavy cream. Now, if you weren't going to can up your soup, then you could go ahead and add cream to the entire pot. But I'm going to be canning up my leftovers, so I don't want to add the cream. Some people can with milk products or canned milk. I don't. I've done the research, and I don't know. I just haven't felt the need to go against all that quite yet. Maybe one day. Give this a taste. Oh, that is so good. Perfect amount of cream in there. Yeah, it tastes delicious. It is so good. I'm going to make me a grilled cheese to go with my soup. And I hope to see you guys next time for another delicious recipe. And I hope it inspires you to make something homemade for yourself and then put it on the shelf, so that whenever you're hungry in the middle of the night or late at night and you don't feel like cooking or you're unable to do cooking, you can just pop open one of your cans that you have done yourself. You know exactly what's in it, and it's delicious every single time. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching.